welcome to the video, Setting Your Exit Goal. This is critical for your exit because it determines what type of business that you want to build in the first place. We're going to talk about topics such as setting your owner vision, purpose, and mission, and then the strategy and objectives to allow you to reach that. We're going to talk about something called your no work, your next step, and your target exit numbers. We'll then convert those numbers into a strategic growth plan. And then finally, we'll talk a little bit about how to manage multiple business opportunities that you might have and establish your business priorities. Let's get started. The first thing to understand is that you as an owner are not your business. And this sometimes gets confused because when we're a solopreneur or in a small company, we tend to blend them together. The way to deal with that is to talk about something called owner business market alignment. First is your owner circle. I call this working above your business. Essentially, what you're doing as an owner is making sure that the business or businesses that you have are meeting your overall life goals rather than the other way around. Next, you go to the actual business circle itself, and you have to think of yourself as the CEO of your business that is leading the vision and making sure that that particular business has the right resources, the money, the people, the capabilities, those types of things in order to succeed. And then the third circle is you have to match your owner passions and interests and your business opportunities with real market opportunities that are out there in order to succeed. Most of the time when I find that people are in businesses and aren't happy as an owner, it's due to some lack of alignment between your owner, your business, and your market. From an owner perspective, you have three primary responsibilities. The first one is to set the purpose, vision, and goals that will drive your business. The second one is to establish the financial objectives that that business is going to achieve. Now, they will change over time, but it's critical to know them and design them right into your exit from the beginning. And then finally, you need to establish the priorities that each one of your business opportunities is going to get. The first owner responsibility, setting your purpose, vision, and goals. The purpose is simply, what is your why? What's your passion? What's the reason that you're doing this? The second is the vision. Think of vision as, I like to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? Describe what your business will achieve in the next 3 or 5 years. Most people like to think of it in more of a 2 to 3 year plan, given how fast things change in e-commerce. And then finally, what are the specific economic and non-economic goals as an owner, not as a business owner, but as an owner yourself to meet those particular goals? We've created a worksheet called the Owner Purpose Vision Goals Worksheet. And what we'd like you to do is go in there and fill out that sheet and walk through the purpose, the vision, and the goals for yourself as an owner. The second step then, your second owner responsibility, is to determine your financial objectives, not again in any one of your businesses, but overall as an owner. To do that, I always like to start with what I call your no work number. What would the financial number need to be where you would never have to work again? Now, you may elect to sell before or after that point, but it's absolutely critical to take a look at your lifestyle and say, hey, if I could put this much after-tax money in the bank and never have to work again, and my business is worth that much, should I consider exiting? For many people, though, they plan on being entrepreneurs in multiple business ventures, either at the same time or over time. In that case, you may be looking at what's called a next step number. If my business is worth X today and my ultimate no work number might be $5 or $10 million, that doesn't mean that this one business has to get you all the way over the finish line. It may get you halfway there or a percentage of that. So you want to set that particular percentage in advance. And then finally, you work backward from the next step number, which is the after-tax number that would actually go into what I call your me account. And you have to back into a sales price of that number before taxes and any other associated fees that will then drive your next step number. We have a worksheet that we call the Calculate Your Number worksheet. And what I'd like you to do is go fill out that worksheet and complete it, because it'll help give you an understanding of this is what the number is that I'm shooting for. A part of that then is translating that number into something that you can run your particular business. So a lot of people will say, well, I'd like to sell my business for $2 million, for example. Well, what does that really mean? There's a way to do that in e-commerce that's very straightforward. The first thing you do is you establish, okay, what is my brand and what are the brands that I might be thinking of launching or I already have launched. After that, you go within that brand and you set the products that you're planning on launching, the number of products, what they might be priced at, things along those lines. And then finally, you have to plan for products not succeeding. So you have to plan on a certain success ratio. And the reason I like to focus on products is because essentially what most e-commerce businesses are is a collection of products that might be inside of a brand that might be then re-leveraged into multiple marketplaces. But at the heart of every e-commerce engine is successful products. Now, this is going to just be an initial view, and we're going to want to do more refinement later, but it'll give you a helpful case for understanding what you need to do to achieve your financial goals. So please go and complete the strategic launch plan in your workbook. Let me give you a few examples. Some people will ask me, well, what does it take in order to sell a business for $500,000? I'll walk through the example right now. In e-commerce terms, if you have 7 products and each product sells an average of 20 units per day, and the average price of those is $20, you'll be doing $2,800 per day. If you look at a business margin of 20%, which is what I would plan on as your minimum, that would be $560 profit per day. Then you multiply that times 30 days in a month and 12 months a year, and lo and behold, you'll be making $201,000 in annual profit and using what I would consider a very conservative multiple of 2.5 times your annual earnings. That generates a $500,000 sales price. Now, for many people, they might say, wow, trying to build up a business and sell it for $500,000 takes a lot of work. But if you put it in the terms of you only need 7 successful products at a modest level of success, you can achieve that goal. So let's take a look at what if you wanted to sell for $1.7 million. All you would need is 20 successful products, and back to the concept of making sure that they're all successful, that might mean that over the next 3 years, you need to launch 5 in your first year and 10 in your second year and 15 in your third year, so that if some of them filter out, that allows you to get to your goal. But that same analysis of 20 products that are doing 20 units a day at a $20 profit with 20% margin leads to $500,000 plus a year in profit. And if you multiply that times a little bit more of an aggressive multiple because it's bigger, 3 times earnings, you're already at $1.7 million for your exit sales price. So this is a critical tool that you can fill out to translate your earnings into something that makes sense and can motivate you to drive the business forward. The third owner responsibility then that you have to think about, and I see this all the time, is people that have multiple businesses going, but they haven't established the relative priorities of each one of those businesses. Ideas are very easy to find, but funding them correctly and executing on them is much more difficult. And recognize that depending on how hard you want to work, you may only have 2,000 to 2,500 hours each year available to you for business. That's about a 40 to 50 hour week. And prioritizing your opportunities will help you answer such questions as, do I get out of that first niche that I was in because maybe it was the right first business, but it really doesn't have the future that I'm looking, and it's not going to lead significantly to my owner goals? Do I maybe have too many things going on at one time? And is each one of my ideas being properly supported? The way to think about it is that each business opportunity needs its own business plan. It needs its own leadership, yourself and or other people on a team, and it needs to know where it fits in the hierarchy for you as an owner. So we've created a business prioritization worksheet to do just this. You allocate in the number of hours that you can spend in a particular year, and then you allocate that across the different business opportunities that you have. But most importantly, you're not just documenting the priorities, The worksheet will also help you identify what is your return on investment from each one of those, so that you can see that the first business that's very profitable might be earning you $200 an hour, where some of your side projects might not be making you $20 an hour. And that allows you to set better priorities, again, for yourself as an owner of multiple businesses rather than just a person that's running one particular business. So please go ahead and take that action item. Again, this is a simplified overview, but it's a very illustrative tool in order to help you understand, as you can see in the example here, that you've got 2,000 hours available, but between your various business opportunities, you're spending 2,400 hours, which means that you're 20% over budget. That's a clear sign that probably each of the businesses that you're focusing on isn't getting the opportunity that it deserves. Okay. So I think that being able to distinguish yourself as an owner separate with what I call your me account, which is your personal bank accounts, from your businesses is the first step toward planning a solid exit strategy. Ultimately, your business ventures exist to support your owner objectives, not the other way around. And there's no sense in starting 3 or 4 businesses in very competitive markets if your exit goals are you simply need to exit for a couple $1,000,000 to achieve some of your life goals. On the flip side of things, if you're looking to achieve a $10 or a $15 million exit, you need to make sure that you're in a business that, even if you do really, really well, would support the level of earnings that would justify that type of an exit. Thank you for watching this video, and please go now and set your goals, calculate what you need to do to reach them, and then manage your time allocation to make sure that you're dedicating the right amount to each business opportunity that you have.